guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, I am a reseller of clothing and I sell mainly on eBay and Poshmark. Every week I come on and share my sales from what sold from the previous week. That way you can get an idea of some things that you can source in your area that may sell for a high profit really quickly. Just some things to look out for. So normally I am putting out a video, I think on Saturday or Sunday is usually when I put one out, but I am a little late this week, so forgive me for that. But I took the whole weekend off. I went to our family's lake house and spent the weekend there, and I didn't do any reselling. So because of that, I think my sales are a little down because I didn't list anything on Friday and Saturday, and I think I listed something Sunday night when I came back, but other than that, I think I did miss a few days of sales, but it was totally worth it to have some time off. Just gotta recharge every now and then. So these will be my sales from last week, May 10th through the 16th, and that is a Saturday through a Sunday. I will do a breakdown between all three platforms that I sold on last week, tell you how much sold on each platform, how many items, my cost of goods, and then at the end I'll tell you the total altogether. Let's get into the what solds. Alright, so starting with eBay, I sold a total of 35 items for a gross sales total of $951.39. This made my average sale price $27.18, and then my total cost of goods for everything on eBay was $117.30. This is a little bit lower than I would like to be. Again, remember I took a few days off this past week, and then my average sale price is a lot lower than what I would like it to be at for eBay. I try to stick in the 30s. So these are not all of the items that sold last week, but I did want to show you a few highlighted sales, some ones that I would recommend you look out for. This one in particular I wanted to show you because if you've watched my past two haul videos, this shirt I showed in both of them. The first time it was a men's haul, and this was actually originally a men's shirt. And I said that I thought that I was gonna crop it, maybe bleach it and turn it into a women's shirt, because when I got home with it, I know that Thrasher graphic shirts are like really in right now, but they don't sell for a lot of money. But I did pick this up really inexpensively, so that is why I got it, knowing that it would sell really quickly. And after I looked up comps, I found this specific shirt selling for no more than $20 was what I looked up. So because of that, I thought maybe I could add some value by cropping it, maybe bleaching or distressing it and turning it into a women's shirt. As I went to crop it and thought about bleaching and distressing it, I just didn't want to go through the work of bleaching and distressing. I love doing that to t-shirts, but I like doing it in bulk when I've got like all my supplies out to do it. And then, you know, the cleanup process, I'd rather get a bunch of shirts done at once. So I usually don't do that unless I have a lot of shirts ready. So for that reason, I went ahead and just decided to crop it. I gave it kind of a mid crop, not too short, not too long. And then this sold like, I think it was overnight. It wasn't but more than a day or two after I got this listed as it was cropped. And again, I presented it as a women's shirt. So this is just a Thrasher graphic shirt, comic style graphic. I thought it was really cool. Plain on the back. And here is what the Thrasher tag looks like. And then as you can see down here, I did note that it was originally a men's size small. It has been cropped. And then of course I include measurements. So this one I listed, as I said before, just the plain of this shirt and the men's was selling no more than $20. And this is why I wanted to show you this, because I cropped it and I had it listed for $24.99. And then I sent out offers to watchers because I got one pretty quickly. And so I sent out a percentage off offer and someone accepted an offer of $22.49, which is more than the shirt has sold for. And it was simply because I cropped it. So if you pick up something and you have a little bit of a regret, as far as graphic shirts go, maybe consider ways that you can adjust the shirt to make it something different, but I definitely wanted to follow up on that as I talked about it in my last haul videos. Next is this Express women's vintage silk dress. I came across a bunch of vintage silk dresses all in one haul, and this was by far my favorite of the dresses. This is by Express, which is not typically a brand that I think does very well, for me at least, but in vintage, and I really love picking up vintage dresses in general, but this was silk. I love the patchwork detail. I just thought it was really unique. It had like a asymmetric hem that was really interesting, just gave me really boho vibes, almost like that prairie, maybe peasant style that's really in right now just from the color details. So for all those reasons, I picked this up. And I had it listed at $39.99, and it sold very quickly once I got it listed at full price. So this sold for $40 for a vintage dress. So I think it being silk and then the color pattern had a lot to do with it, but don't knock vintage dresses because a lot of the times it's a style people are looking for and can no longer find, which makes it more unique, more desirable, harder to get your hands on, which means you can sell it for more profit. I think this is the last of the coveralls suits that I got. So this is a military men's vintage flight suit, and I'm hesitant with picking up military items anymore because some of them sit and some of them, you know, fly, get a lot of attention. These coveralls I would definitely pick up again. Like a lot of streetwear designers like to create coveralls, or they like to get vintage pieces and they'll wear them as is, or they'll roll down the top and tie it around the waist and just wear them as pants. So these are really popular right now, and then some people do also use them for their intended purpose. So whenever you come across one of these tags, I'm sure if you're a new reseller, you've already come across this, or you will soon, because I come across military items a lot in the thrift store. But when you're looking at this tag, it doesn't look like it's much, but this is more than likely a military piece. And what I like about picking up military pieces is I can do quick comps at the thrift store because the information is all right here. The size, the name of it, you know, any technical data that goes along with it, like everything's right here, which is so nice when you are doing comps in the store to know if it is a piece that you want to pick up or not. So I'm very skeptical about military pieces. They all used to sell like really well for me, and I didn't worry about doing too many comps. But nowadays I feel like you do need to do more detailed research before you decide to pick one up. But if you get a good one, it can sell for a lot of money. So this one, I picked up this as well as another suit which is already sold, and I put it on quite a few platforms, and this one ended up selling on eBay. I had it listed for $49.99 or best offer, and somebody just bought it outright. So I was really pleased with that. If you come across these flight suits, I'd say it's definitely worth buying. Next is this American Eagle, I guess boho top is what I consider it. I picked it up because of its bohemian style. I really love the color of this. It was like an ivory, not quite white, not quite tan, and had the bishop sleeves. Different style sleeves, like poofy sleeves, are supposed to be really popular summer, and I have found that to be the case as I've been listing stuff with interesting sleeves, so keep an eye out for those details. American Eagle isn't really something I would suggest picking up every top you see, but if it has enough compensating factors, you know, it might be worth it. This one I had listed on eBay and Poshmark, and it blew up. I had a ton of interest on both. I really thought it would sell on Poshmark because I had a lot of likes on this one, a lot. I was getting offers all day long, but I held out. I wanted 25 bucks for it. So on eBay, I had this listed for $25. I sent out offers to watchers, and someone accepted an offer of $22.50, which I was happy with for an American Eagle top. So don't pass on American Eagle tops if they've got enough going on for it. This one definitely did, so I will continue picking up pieces like this because they bring a lot of interest to your store and they flip quickly. This did not take long to sell either once I got it listed. This is, I think, a vintage cardigan by the brand Eagle's Eye, which I'm not really familiar with. I think I've come across this at a thrift store a couple times, but it wasn't interesting enough to pick up. But this is a classic example of the brand doesn't matter, it's all about the style. If I can pick up something that I know cannot be ignored in photos because it's loud, crazy, unique, I almost always pick it up. So this is I call it a patch cardigan, which was not like the official name of it, but I always put patch in if it is like hodgepodge colors together. If it looks patchy, I would definitely say put patch in. I think that's why this sold so quickly, because I'm finding that that's really in right now. So this was a multicolored, really, I want to say loud, but the colors were kind of muted, but like you could not ignore this in photos, which means people's eyes are going to be drawn to it. And for that reason, this did sell quickly. I had it listed for $24.99 and it did sell at full price. This was an online arbitrage pickup. I picked this as well as a bunch of other items up from a seller on eBay. They were running a sale in their store, so I just added a bunch of items, got a great discount, and then flipped them online for a profit. This brand is called First of a Kind, which I'd heard of but wasn't too familiar with, as this is the first time I've actually gotten one of their pieces. So to my knowledge, this brand takes used garments and turns them into, I guess, trendy pieces. So for instance, this was originally either shorts or some pants by Levi's, and turned into a unique style. You can see it's kind of got crochet along the hem, high-waisted. They took off the Levi's patch at the top, distressed it, made it more trendy, I guess, but then they put their own brand tag on it. The only thing I didn't like about this piece, and maybe this is not true for this brand, maybe it was just the piece that I got, but it didn't have a size because it ripped out all the Levi's tags. I didn't have any information like the fabric content, the, whether it was machine washable or anything like that. But I guess it didn't matter because I did measurements and I listed it, had a bunch of attention. It sold fairly quickly and I had it listed at $24.99, sent out offers to watchers, and it sold for $22.49. So if you come across First of a Kind, I'd say their stuff does sell pretty well and I'm going to continue to pick it up. This is a little clutch wallet by Lilly Pulitzer. It's nothing really all that special. It only had 2 compartments inside. But Lilly Pulitzer is well known for their loud, vibrant prints. And because of that, I knew that this one would sell because it was so loud and vibrant. I think I found this at the bins and it was really lightweight, so I paid hardly anything for it. This was sitting in my death pile for a while. I think I got it listed and then I used it for something, so I took it off and then I forgot to relist it. So this has recently been relisted and I had this listed for $25, and because I had been sitting on it for so long and then it sat in a death pile because it, my fault, I didn't get it relisted. I just was kind of sick of it and wanted to see it go. Had a lot of bad vibes along with it. So I sent out offers to watchers. I don't remember the percentage off, but it sold for $17.50. And for a pickup at the bins, I think that's pretty good. But if you come across Lilly Pulitzer clutches in really good condition, in loud prints, definitely worth picking up those pieces. This is another just kind of a pickup based on aesthetic. I think this was also, if I remember correctly, I think this was also an online pickup. This brand is called Umgee. They make a lot of bohemian style clothing, and some of their stuff does really well and some of it you can not sell even for $10. So I'm very careful about what I pick up. I do like this brand, like personally for myself, but it can or cannot have great resale value, so you just really have to be careful. This one was unique enough, I thought it was worth picking up, and I had it listed for $24.99, and it did sell at full price. Next is this Patagonia Women's Cinchilla Wind Zone jacket, and this one was reversible. It was a really nice jacket. I think when I picked it up at the thrift store originally, it needed some wash wear, so they were selling it pretty cheap. I might be misremembering that, but I remember having to give this a good wash. So this is reversible. The outside was super fuzzy, and then the inside's more like your classic fleece. Really great condition after I got it washed. I'm sure all of you are probably familiar with Patagonia, but if you're not, here is the brand tag. And then I always look up the style number that's on the tag. It's not visible here. I think it's either the tag or underneath or on the back side of this, but there is a style number. And if you search Patagonia style number lookup, it takes you to this website that's like PCPia or something like that.com. I'll put it here on the screen, but you can look up that style number and it will give you the style name, which I think is really important when selling Patagonia, as well as some other brands that I've talked about, but definitely with Patagonia, because there are people that are followers of this brand and they're looking for those specific styles. It can only help the sale. So this one was called the Cinchilla Wind Zone jacket. A lot of times when I'm just looking at an item, I don't think it's worth as much, and then I look up the style name and find out that it is worth quite a bit. So get as much money out of your items as you can, and sometimes that takes a couple extra minutes looking up the style name. So I had this one listed at $59.99 or best offer. Unfortunately, I had this I got this listed towards the end of the cold season, so it was already kind of warmer weather when I listed this, so I figured I was probably going to have to sell it for a significantly reduced amount, or I was going to have to wait till fall. Someone sent me an offer for $45, and I went ahead and accepted that. That was good profit for me, and it got this moving, and now I'm no longer sitting on this. But if I would have held out, I think I could have gotten probably closer in the $50, $60 range. And last item on eBay I wanted to show you before we move on to Poshmark are these Nike women's vintage tapered sweatpants. These had like a nylon outside, and I don't know, I just have such good luck with Nike. Almost anything I pick up with Nike, as long as they have the factors that I'm looking for, no matter how old they are, even if they have some flaws, as you can see this one right here, they just sell, and they sell quickly. So these are a women's vintage size large, had a little run in them. So what I look for with Nike is that, I mean, if I can get a modern style, that'd be great, but even if I can't, they just sell really well. A lot of people say Nike's oversaturated, but if you check the sell-through rate, more are selling than what are listed, which means they're constantly moving, which means no matter how many are on there, eyes are still getting on your item because stuff is moving. It's like churning all the Nike listings. So what I look for with Nike is specific branding. So these ones had branding down at the ankles, and you can see it's got that cool vintage font. Zip at the ankle, which was nice. Striping is always good. These ones were a tapered, which makes it more modern, even though it is vintage, a more modern wear. But mainly I look for spell out and or logo. So this one had an obvious logo right here, and then again at the ankle. And then in general, I find that like neutral colors do really well. Classic black and white for Nike is really good. But I'll basically pick up anything as long as it's not destroyed and it has those factors that I'm looking for. So for those reasons, I picked up these, and I have them listed at $24.99, and they did sell at full price pretty quickly. Moving on to Poshmark. On Poshmark, I sold a total of 23 items for a gross sales total of $607. This made my average sale price $26.39, and then my total cost of goods for everything on Poshmark was $104.10. Poshmark for me is great because I've now got almost all of my items cross-listed onto there, the same ones that I have on eBay. And so when eBay's slacking, Poshmark comes through, and when Poshmark is lacking, eBay comes through, and it's been a really, really nice addition to my income. And I'm getting to the point where Poshmark has almost doubled my income because I'm getting so many eyes on my products. So I'm really happy with Poshmark, even though the average sale price is usually in the 20s. I'm still happy with it. So on Poshmark, I had a couple highlighted sales I wanted to show you. The first one are the Soft Surroundings women's Log and Look pants. I wanted to show you these ones because, first of all, Soft Surroundings is a good brand to look out for. Not all of their pieces do well, but I would say most of them do. Here is the brand. And I really love these because they had the bell bottoms. They had a really nice textured pattern to them. And then a main reason I picked them up was because I could call them Bohemian, and I could also put Log and Look in the title. Log and Look and Bohemian styles are super popular right now, so the fact that I could put them both in there was really great for me. So these I think I had these listed at maybe $35, and someone either sent or I sent one out for $27. So these sold for $27. This was another online pickup. So I think I got this off of, oh, I can't remember if it was eBay or Poshmark, but I picked it up for cheaper than what you see I sold it for here. So this is an unbranded, just vintage Western, Bohemian, Southwestern style leather bag. I kind of wanted to keep this one for myself, but I knew that it would sell pretty quickly. It even had a little bit of wear to it. And this one I did model, and then of course I made sure to show all the details of the bag. So this one in particular I knew would sell because of this fabric right here. This is what I would call they call it like a blanket style, like a blanket overlay, because it looks similar to Southwestern blankets. So whenever I have a style like that, I make sure to put blanket in the title because people are searching for this right now and it's super popular. So this one sold for $45. I think I had it listed pretty high at $65, hoping to get probably about $50-$55 for it, but someone sent me an offer for $45 and I went ahead and accepted to get these items moving. They're a pair of men's jeans. I love selling men's jeans. This brand in particular, I just learned within the past year. This is called TK Axel, and if you look up comps, this brand's kind of all over the place on eBay, at least. I'm not sure about Poshmark, but every time I've picked up these jeans, they've sold. So I just make sure that it looks like a more modern style, which these ones did. I love men's jeans because the style name is right on the inside, like all the information's there for you to do the comps and for you to list the items. So men's jeans are pretty much a win-win for me. So I picked these ones up. These were called the Vintage Boot, and I had them listed at $35. I believe they sold outright. Yeah, they sold just straight out. Someone just bought them. So these sold for $35. But if you're not familiar with TK Axel, I'd say it is a great brand to pick up in men's jeans as long as they look like a modern style. Okay, these next ones are a brand that I like to pick up if I can get them super cheap. So the brand is Minnetonka. They are most known for their moccasins, but I do like picking up other shoe pieces by them because they tend to have like a Western, Southwestern, Bohemian style. So these ones definitely looked Western, and I'm looking at this, I probably should have put that in the title, Western or Southwestern. Really great condition, just had a little bit of wear on the soles, but other than that, they felt like maybe worn a couple times. You can even see on the footbeds, there's hardly anything there. One thing that made me want to pick them up besides the brand was the fact that they are leather, and I don't think any other pieces are made out of faux leather. I think they're all leather, so they make quality shoes. But I picked these up because of the medallion details. With the trend of all the Western and Southwestern styles coming in. These medallion details I've noticed are selling really well. So for that reason, I picked these ones up, and as you can see, I made sure to put medallions in my title. I had these listed for $29. Somebody did buy them outright, but I think in general, shoes, flip-flops by Minnetonka, like these ones, usually sell between $20 and $25 for me. So I'm glad that these sold for $29, but I did want to let you know they don't usually sell for this much. But if you can find them for cheap, I'd say they're definitely worth picking up. This next sale is a jacket by Levi's, and first of all, I pick up the style in general, usually regardless of brand, but the fact that it was Levi's was awesome. This style just flips really well for me. So it's basically like a heavy duty shirt jacket and then lined with Sherpa. And then again, the fact that it's Levi's is just a bonus for me. But this one was just a navy blue. I mean, it was clearly used, but still in good condition. Sometimes even if it's not in great condition, they're only using it as a work jacket anyways, like out in the barn, out in the field. Construction workers wear them. So because they're a work piece, sometimes I don't even worry about condition necessarily. I mean, I won't pick it up if it's destroyed, but if there's a little bit of wear to it, that doesn't bother me. So here is the Sherpa lining. In Levi's jackets like this, I can usually sell them for between $40 and $50, and this one I had listed at $50. Someone sent me an offer for $40, which I accepted. And this is also great to show you because, you know, we're in warmer weather and people are still buying Sherpa lined jackets, which means somebody needs this. And that is the reason that even though I focus on warmer weather items, if I come across something good for winter wear or fall wear, I'll still pick it up because it may still sell. And even if I have to sit on it until fall or winter, I know that it will sell during that time. So I don't mind sitting on it. But I do focus on summer and spring. But if I were to come across this piece at a thrift store, I'd probably pick it up today. Next item I wanted to show you was a bread and butter for me. I pick up Torrid jeans a lot. If you look up comps on eBay, a lot of them are selling for less than $25, but I usually sell them for $25. Torrid is a well-known plus size brand, and I love picking up Torrid plus size pieces. I love carrying plus size pieces in my closet in general, but Torrid in particular, their denim does very, very well. So these ones, I think I had listed at $29 and I got an offer for $25, which I accepted if I remember correctly, but I always just look for a modern style. These ones are skinny jeans, and if you can come across them for $5 or less, yeah, I think that they are definitely worth picking up and they sell super quickly. These were a recent pickup. These are Ralph Lauren pants, and if you watch any of like my haul videos or my what sold, you know that I love picking up Ralph Lauren pieces. I like Ralph Lauren, I like Polo Ralph Lauren, I like Ralph Lauren Sport. I just love this brand. It does so well for me. I love picking up vintage pieces and even modern pieces. This, I'm not sure. I thought that they might be vintage, but since I wasn't 100% sure, I didn't put that in my listing. But I found these. They are a pinstriped nautical wide leg pant. Wide leg is starting to become popular during the summer again. It had some nice branding. They were new with tags, which helped. So I'm not sure if this was modern or if it was older, but it didn't matter because these sold so quickly. So the retail price was originally $99.50. I think I had these listed at $50 or $55. Someone sent me an offer for $42, which I accepted. That's just a great sale. Every time I pick up a piece like this, it just flies. I love, love, love picking up this brand. So what I tend to look for in this brand is something more unique. and then something I can put a style in. A lot of the times I come across something that's like equestrian style in this brand and it does really well. Also nautical, which you can see I put here, which is just kind of like sea, boat, beach life. If I can put that in my title, I know that someone's going to find it quickly. So I looked for it to be more unique, which this was. I could see somebody wearing this summer. I also put sailor and boat in my title. So for all those reasons, this sold very quickly. But if you're currently passing up on this brand, take a closer look at it, because I sell this stuff all the time and for good money. Again, with some colder weather items selling still, this coat is by Northeast Terrain, which isn't really something I seek out, but I do seek out this style. I call these barn coats, and people search for that term all the time. So if you come across a jacket like this, they typically are button down, but sometimes they are zip. And then they typically have a contrasting collar and then sometimes cuffs. But this was just a classic barn coat. It was flannel lined. And for all of those compensating factors, I picked up this jacket. It did have those interesting pockets. Some barn coats have like a double pocket, which I think helps sell it. Here's the tag. Again, not necessarily a compensating factor for me. This brand, I mean, they make good clothing, but again, not really one I seek out, but I really sought out the style. So this I did have listed, I think at like $45. Someone sent me an offer for $30 and I went ahead and accepted. You know, we are in warmer weather, and if I can sell my colder weather items during this time to make more space, I will. So I accepted a lower offer, but if we were in winter, I'd be wanting between $40 and $50 for this. But if you come across barn coats in good condition, really excellent to pick up. Kind of like the Levi's jacket that I showed before. People are looking for workwear items, and I would consider this a workwear item. And the good thing about these types of items are when someone needs them, they need them then, and they're willing to pay good money for them because they are like a utility item. So be on the lookout for barn coats. I always put field, barn. I usually put chore in the title as well, but those are all good keywords to use. Next up is a home item. Home goods selling on Poshmark is great for me because I feel like it's a market not everyone is tapped into yet. I'm slowly starting to pick up hard goods. I made a goal for myself this year to, every time I go into a thrift store, to spend a little bit of time in hard goods and start learning about, you know, what's selling. Mainly I'm just going in and picking up pieces I think are interesting or feel quality made. Because if you're trying to look up hard goods and there's no branding, sometimes it's really hard. So I gave these a shot. These did have some branding on them. These were called, I don't know how to pronounce this brand, but it's Taule. But they were so heavy. They felt really quality made. I really liked the, I guess almost like, I know it's not leather, but like a patina distress look to them. They looked kind of like medieval to me, maybe fairy tale like, and I thought that somebody might want these for their wedding. I did find a set of 2. I think if I would have found just one of these, I probably wouldn't have picked them up, but because I found a set, I thought that I could kind of present them as a wedding item. So I did put wedding in my title. And then they were champagne flutes. The way they were shaped would normally be used for champagne. So again, with wedding. And they were plated with silver. I did a little bit of research on this brand and found out that these were plated with actual silver, which also brought up their value. So I think I have these listed at like $65 maybe. Someone sent me an offer for $50, which I did accept. And the good thing about Poshmark is you can go up to 5 pounds and your shipping is not going to be outrageous, which with eBay, depending on where the item is going for hard goods, it can be heavier. If they're going a longer distance, the buyer's paying a lot for shipping. and sometimes that deters them. But I like selling home goods on Poshmark as long as they're small enough to fit in a priority mailbox. I'll cross-list it over. So I was really, really happy with this sale. I can't remember how much I paid for these, but I think the set I paid like less than $5 for. So, you know, keep an eye out for items like this if you're starting to get into hard goods, and sometimes it's all about how you present the item. Back to clothing and shoes. I sold these pair of Columbia Namara water resistant boots. In the past, Columbia footwear has not done well for me. I think I got these at the bins, maybe, I can't remember. But the reason I got these ones was because they were practically brand new with a few exceptions like right here. These had the style name on the inside, and I looked up these boots. They were hardly any listed, hardly any sold. But the ones that had sold for decent money, and because these were basically brand new, they were in really excellent condition, I went ahead and picked them up. And again, with the colder weather items, they sold. Snow boots in May is craziness. So I think I had these listed at $35 or $39, and they did sell for $30. I probably wouldn't have picked these up if they weren't water resistant, because as I said, Columbia is a tough sell in footwear for me. Columbia is a tough sell in general, but because it was water resistant, because I had the style name, and because it was in really excellent condition, I picked it up. Last item I wanted to show you on Poshmark were these Athleta wide leg yoga trouser pants. I really like picking up Athleta. I can usually sell them between $25 and $30, maybe between $20 and $25 if I'm sending out offers. I think I had these listed at $29. Someone sent me an offer for $25, which I accepted. Even though these are boot cut, people are still buying boot cut. I know a lot of people think that in workout wear, people are only buying skin tight leggings, but that's just not true. So here is the Athleta tag. And I picked these ones up mainly because they had pockets. So I always look for an interesting detail because I think that really helps to sell it. It also had pockets on the back. So I had these listed at $29 and accepted an offer of $25. Last item I wanted to show you that sold was on Etsy. So I did sell one item on Etsy. I cross-list, not all, but I cross-list quite a bit of my vintage items onto Etsy, and then occasionally they sell. This one sold for $25. This was a Ben & Jerry's vintage mug. It did have the dating on it for 1986. And whenever I'm photographing small hard goods like this, I always use PhotoFuse to make it look like a stock photo and basically take out any of the background, which I think helps to sell these items. So this was a really cool piece. I really love the graphics. I thought about keeping this, but I do not need another coffee mug. So occasionally I will pick up vintage mugs as long as there is some information that tells me it's going to be a guaranteed sale. Okay, so those are all of my sales for last week. So in total, I sold 59 items. Again, I didn't show you all those items today, but I showed you a good bit. I had a gross sales total of $1,583.39. This made my average sale price $26.84. Again, this is quite a bit lower than I'm used to, but I'm still happy with my sales, especially given that I took a few days off. And then my total cost of goods for everything was $222.40. This number, my cost of goods, is up quite a bit because I've been online sourcing, and you saw some of those items sell in what I showed you today. So for that reason, it's just more expensive to shop online and do online arbitrage. So because of that, my cost of goods, I have noticed, is significantly up. But I am still happy with those sales and with my profit margins.
Alright guys, so that is it for what sold from last week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how your sales are going. So far, mine are still on an upward trajectory. I think because people are still spending their stimulus checks. I'm a little worried that summer slowdown is about to start, but I'm going to keep on chugging away and listing no matter what, and I suggest that you guys do the same. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.